What's good, guys? Welcome back to the prediction video again. We're back at it, guys, and this time we're in the Apex. We are back at it again, like some would say, in Dana's dungeon. You know how it is, like always. We can't talk about this week without talking about last week. So obviously we have a lot to talk about, and I have a good question for you guys. I have a very good question for you guys. What's next for Zhang Weili? Obviously we have to break down this entire card. We're going to do a little quick recap, but let's start from the bottom. Solid Kid gets a beautiful KO first round. Uselyis says it's an early stoppage. Maybe it was an early stoppage, but man, fuck. That guy has turned into a meme. McAuliffe, beautiful UFC debut against Kevin Gisette. Worked the body like Jan Blachowicz against Dominic Reyes. Worked the body, set it up high. Beautiful work from McAuliffe. Looked amazing, and that was a very good dog if anybody took the opportunity and cashed on it. My lock of the week, Cody Steele. Tune into 6 best bets and lock of the week this Wednesday, guys, because we're bouncing back better than ever. Cody Steele is just brawling, losing that fight 30-27, has nothing for Rongzhu at all. Never tries to grapple at all. Another Rinya Nakamura situation. Come on, Cody Steele. Thickanies versus Topuria. Topuria actually ends up winning by unanimous decision, so it actually surprises a lot. But Ilia Topuria's UFC debut was exactly the same. In fact, they both had 2 suplexes. Different type of suplexes. Ilia's was a belly-to-belly suplex, and Topuria's was a different type of suplex. Beautiful, no matter what. Brazil, she lost that fight by decision. Clearly had nothing for Wang. 30-27 in all just scorecards. Tom Nolan, my guy. He loses the first round and then he comes back the second and third. Tom Nolan should have been my lock of the week, guys. Jack Jenkins versus Santos. Gabriel Santos gets the submission in the third round, I believe. And damn. Did that over 2.5 not hit. Matthews versus Prado. Very good fight. Matthews by decision was the play. Crew versus Bellato. That draw saved my life. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't a draw. If they gave it to Jimmy Crew, I would not be here right now. So that was actually a pretty funny fight. First draw of 2025, of course. We give it to Jimmy Crew. We got to give him an award for the most draws in the UFC or something. Tafa versus Teixeira. Every time I watch the Tafa's fight, it's always a first round. They get finished in the first round or they finish the person in the first round. Suarez did good in the first round, 3 minutes of cardio, and then she telegraphs her takedowns. Every single grappler does this, where they just telegraph their takedowns. Obviously, we know the submission threat is always there, but if you can't get it to the ground, if your knee is getting bloodied up and it's getting cut from sliding on the mat, you don't have tough knees. I don't know what's going on. Suarez, you did very good, but this is, in my opinion, this is a fraud check. Or I don't know. I mean, it can't be a fraud check, bro. She lost to the champ. Weili. What's next for her? This is what I want to ask you guys. Is it going to be Weili versus Valentina Shevchenko? Or do we do my girl, Manon Fiorot? Is she due for a title shot against Valentina Shevchenko? Is Valentina running? It's been a year since I've seen Manon Fiorot fight. Where has Manon Fiorot been? Somebody let me know. And Duplessis 50-45 Strickland. I would have never expected that, bro. I'm just glad I went Dricus Duplessis, because if I would have chose Strickland, man, I would have looked like a casual. All right, let's go. He breaks his nose. He looks like a bird. He looks like an eagle. And shout out to the Eagles. The Eagles did good. But Strickland looked like a fucking eagle or something that broke his beak or something. I was like, damn, bro. I can't. What a tailored matchup for Dricus Duplessis. He doesn't even have to shoot a takedown. He shoots a takedown maybe in the 5th round, but he doesn't even have to. Strickland is just a tailor-made matchup for him now, considering that it was a pretty close fight the first time around. I guess you could only get away with that style at the beginning, but you got to do something. Middleweight's turning into a Shark Tank. So here we go, guys. Here we go. Now we're going to get into the bets. Thank you guys for tuning in. I had Quillen Solid Kid by KO on points at a -150. Put like $50 on it, and it ended up cashing. But I just thought that this was a little bit of a risk one. When I placed it, I didn't have full confidence at all, so I was like, I got a little lucky with this one. Especially the first card opener, you don't really want to bet the first fight. Sometimes it benefits you. Colby Thickanies versus Alexander Topuria, over 1.5 at a -126. I put $100 to win 178, 179 to be exact. And yeah, it cashes. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that, oh, I'm the best better, oh, I'm the best. No, bro, I got lucky. Watch, Alexander Topuria might knock out his next opponent in the first round, second round. I was thinking second round TKO, so I was playing a little bit with fire. But I think when it comes to betting, guys, you can't, don't drink the tea too much. You know what I'm saying? We still got next week, and you got to be consistent. My biggest downfall was the lock of the week. Who cares if all this cash is lock of the week didn't hit? I don't care. Over 1.5 for Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. Bro, this was a terrible fight. $50 on the over 1.5. It was a little bit risky, but I should have put a little bit more cha-ching on it. But over 1.5 is always going to be risky. I like that minus 124. I love that. I love seeing that sign. I love that. That's one of my favorite numbers. Minus 124. Over 2.5. Rodolfo Bellato. This is a boost parlay, so I got lucky. Look, so the void. This is what I'm talking about. I got lucky. $25 on a boost parlay. Over 2.5. Minus 155. Turns Jake Matthews. Turns a minus 180 into a minus 155. Rodolfo Bellato minus 146. Turns into a minus 125. Dricus du Plessis minus 215. Turns into a minus 182. 25 to 163. But it was actually to win like 100. But because Bellato almost got finished in that first round, hey, I'll take it. But now, enough chit chat. Let's get into UFC Fight Night. Cannonier versus Rodrigues. Sorry for the banter. Hopefully it wasn't too long of an intro, and you guys can skip it if anything. Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues, another middleweight main event. What, 3 middleweight main events back to back to back? Izzy versus Imavov, Dricus versus Strickland, and Robocop versus Jared Cannonier. Middleweight is a Shark Tank, and we're going to see a big switch in the middleweight division. It seems like you can't get away with just being a specialist in the middleweight division anymore. You have to be well-rounded. So with that being said, guys, we're going to be going over this entire 13-fight card. And obviously we have Youssef Zalal. Pay attention to Dylan Budka, guys, because there's a lot of study on him. He's fought multiple people on here. Andre Petroski, obviously it's going to be a very good fight. Angela Hill, I love it when Angela Hill fights. Every time Angela Hill fights on a card, whether it's the Apex, whatever card it is, I'm going to tune in. She's a banger. She's always a treat to watch. Excuse me. Here we go. Gabriel Bonfim, minus 245. Khaos Williams, plus 186. Gabriel Bonfim, let's see if he remains the opener of the card. I think the bout order is going to switch up, and he'll probably be a little bit more up. I don't think he'll open up the Apex card for this Saturday. Bonfim is a very good boxer. A lot of us know what we're going to get with the Bonfim bros, but there is a difference in both of the Bonfim brothers, especially with Gabriel Bonfim. Very good BJJ, patient, more patient than his brother. Been distance only once in 17 fights. He's only been the distance once in 17 fights. So me saying he's patient is a little bit of a contradiction. Obviously, he strikes and then he looks for the shot. He looks to maintain top control, passes guard like a knife through butter. Very good. His most recent win was to Angelosa, but he was taken down 4 times in that fight. Khaos Williams has hands made out of stone. Very good low kicks, cuts the cage very well, durable, and always has a highlight reel KO. Most recent win is his KO win over Carlson Harris. But we know Carlson Harris just lost a split decision to Santiago Ponzinibbio. Gabriel as a 2-1 favorite doesn't surprise me. Like always, he is a favorite. He should be able to nullify Khaos Williams as long as he gets this fight down to the mat. Khaos Williams can make this a dog fight, and we know the Bonfim brothers do not like dog fights. I'll go Gabriel Bonfim by submission or decision, but I will say, guys, maybe like an over 2.5 is very good in this fight. If you're going Khaos Williams, you're going by KO. No ifs and buts about it. You're not going Khaos Williams by decision. I will say, though, if I'm going to go Gabriel Bonfim, I have to take double chance. I'm not gonna play Gabriel Bonfim moneyline at a minus 245. Never. Especially considering his most recent loss to Nicholas Dalby. Obviously, it was a year and 3 months ago, so it wasn't that recent. But a guy like Nicholas Dalby should, obviously the cardio, and he was chasing submission over position, and that's what led him to his own demise. But I will say, this is what the Apex card should look like. It should look like Khaos Williams and Gabriel Bonfim being on this card, both of the Bonfim brothers being on this card, Angela Hill being on this card. This is a typical Apex card from COVID. It reminds me of the days from COVID. So the fact that we got this banger fight, I'm just excited, and I'm going to go Gabriel Bonfim by submission on points. He needs to get this fight to the ground. I don't think he's going to be able to KO Khaos Williams. If he is going to KO Khaos Williams, it's probably by ground and pound, ground and pound, ground and pound. I'm going to go Gabriel Bonfim, and in fact, I'm going to play spoiler. I got a nice little 2-leg parlay on both of the Bonfim brothers, but we know they always sell. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go. Gabriel Bonfim by submission on points. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Next fight, Angela Hill versus Ketlen Souza. You guys know, whenever I see Angela Hill on the Apex card, I'm always excited. Not only am I always excited, but it means that it's a good card. And you can't say, oh, every single card that Hill's on is a good card, but just the vibes, everything, it just feels good. It feels like if we're back in 2020, back in 2021. So let's go. Angela Hill minus 128, and she's a favorite, so you know this is going to be a crazy fight. Angela Hill minus 128, Ketlen Souza plus 100. The journeywoman of women's MMA, Angela Hill, but she has a great style for going the distance. Not too much power, not really a finisher, but great cardio, and output is very prevalent. She has very good output. She just recently lost to Tabitha Ricci because she didn't like the volume and the output from Tabitha Ricci. She just kept working and working and working. Excuse me, guys. Ketlen Souza is a volume-forward fighter. Massive kicks, massive hooks, blast takedowns. She just beat Yasmin Yudugai by submission 3 minutes into round 1 at UFC Noche 306. Angela, as a favorite, is never a good lock. This fight will be more competitive than many imagine. Angela Hill has more experience, but Ketlen to get the job done by pure strength and forward pressure. So obviously we know the low confidence is on Ketlen Souza because she's a dog and because of her cardio. But I will say the high confidence is on the over 2.5. I'm going to go over 2.5, and I think maybe the over 2.5 is going to be a minus 300, minus 380. So maybe I'll take that this fight goes the distance in order to get it like at a minus 250. We'll see on Friday. Tune into Friday last minute predictions. I will say, guys, I'm going to go Ketlen Souza. Very low confidence. We know when she tries to go for a takedown, when she tries to work, it's by pure strength. Ketlen Souza needs to overwhelm her opponent. She needs to be stronger than Angela Hill. And you never want to let Angela Hill be on the feet and be working on the front foot. If Ketlen Souza's on the back foot this entire fight, she's probably going to lose this fight. We know she lost to Karine Silva, but Karine Silva's pretty good up until her most recent loss to Viviane Araújo, I believe. We know that this is going to be a very good fight. So give me Ketlen Souza to win this fight by unanimous decision. Low confidence. I'm more confident in the over 2.5. Basically, this fight goes the distance. Yes. Give me Ketlen Souza by submission on points. Double chance. Plus 100. I guess I could take money line. Let's go. Ketlen Souza for the win. Let's go. This is going to be a good card. Rafael Estevam, which is an absolute banger UFC fighter. This guy, when I watch tape from this guy actually has some very good fights. Not only does he have very good fights, but his most recent fight, Charles Johnson, which was a very interesting bout. But he's up against Jesus Aguilar, which is a very tough matchup. Minus 400 for Rafael Estevam versus Jesus Aguilar, who's a plus 285. Obviously, Rafael is looking to make it 2-0 in the UFC. Rafael Estevam, high-pressure grappler, throws heavy and has sloppy trips and body locks, takedowns. He can maintain top control very well and backpacks very well. He's coming off his UFC debut over Charles Johnson, where he took him down over 3 times and had 9 minutes of control time, which is very impressive because we know Charles Johnson is set to face off against Ramazan Temirov in a banger card in a couple of months. So he's matched up against Aguilar, who is a very elite athlete. Jesus is a very good with submissions. Out of his 11 wins, 8 of those are by stoppages, and out of all those 8 stoppages, 5 of them have ended by guillotine. He just beat Stuart Nickel by guillotine. Rafael Estevam by decision. For me, low confidence because of Jesus' submission offense. But when you're relying on a guillotine a lot, sometimes you're relying on guillotine for takedown defense. Obviously, when I think of guillotine, all I think about is Said Nurmagomedov and selling, throwing flips, throwing all that. But Rafael Estevam, undefeated. We know with these guys who are undefeated, these guys have not been winning at all. Cody Steele, all these guys. But Rafael Estevam is a way different breed from all these guys who are undefeated. And watch this pick age like milk. Jesus Aguilar is a beast, and his most recent loss to Tasu Taira is not bad because Tasu Taira just went to war with Brandon Royval. It's going to be one of those fights where Rafael Estevam should be able to win this fight. Obviously, he's 28 years old. It's a mirror match. The flyweight division is stacked, but the reach advantage, a 69-inch reach, should be a massive factor. Majority topology is going Estevam to win this fight by decision. But I'm gonna go Estevam. I'm gonna go Estevam too, but I'm gonna take double chance. I'm gonna go by submission on points. Let's go, my boy Estevam. Let's go. And he should be able to win this fight against Jesus Aguilar, but we know Jesus is a beast. It should be one of those good fights. Let's go Rafael Estevam for the win. Let's go. Valter Walker versus Dontel Mays. Obviously, this is one of those matches where it should be another banger matchup. Obviously, Valter Walker is one of those guys where this guy lost his UFC debut to Lucas Brzeski, so he's not that good at all. But he's facing a guy who's not that good as well in Dontel Mays. Obviously, we know Dontel Mays is not that good. This guy lost to Shamil Gaziev by decision. Minus 235 for Valter Walker versus Dontel Mays, who's plus 180. When I look at this fight, Johnny Walker's done. Johnny Walker is absolutely done. I enjoyed this matchup for Valter Walker. He's gotten so much better since his first loss in the UFC. Glad he was able to beat Junior Tafa in round 1. Obviously, since his UFC debut loss to Lucas Brzeski, he looked terrible, but after that, he got a little bit more cut and ended up winning against Junior Tafa in round 1. He looked way better against Junior Tafa. Dontel Mays is always a guy to test the heavyweights. He is 4-5 in the UFC with 1 no contest. He always throws and sometimes just throws for space. He just recently lost to Shamil Gaziev where he was controlled over and over. Walter needs to wrestle. If he cannot wrestle, he will look like a mess. Plus 3.5 for Dontel Mays for me. We need that loss to Lucas Brzeski just like Con Wang needed that loss to Gabriela Fernandez in order to take this game seriously. Valter Walker has gotten so much better. He looks more healthier and he looks more cut. Valter Walker by submission or decision for me. Double chance like always. And I think it should hit. We know Valter Walker is one of those guys who you never know what you're going to get with this guy. But now that he lost, I'm way more confident in him. And this sounds contradicting. It sounds hypocritical. But I need these guys to lose. These guys who are undefeated, you need to lose, or you need to lose inside the gym. Because if you're training with a bunch of yes men, if you're training with a bunch of guys who are easy every day, when you get in the cage, you're going to struggle. And we saw that against Lucas Brzeski. His cardio was terrible, and he couldn't grapple a guy with shit takedown defense. So with this fight right here, guys, I'm gonna go Valter Walker. I'm gonna go by submission on points. I'm not gonna go KO on points. I'm gonna go submission on points, and I'm gonna go by second round submission, if not by 29-28 unanimous decision. Let's go, Valter Walker. Let's go. Obviously, Vince Morales versus Elijah Smith. Elijah Smith is making his UFC debut, but a lot of people aren't that confident on him. Plus 194, Vince Morales. Elijah Smith, minus 250. Vince Morales, decent striker, good volume, good output, has great power. Vince was cut from the UFC in 2022 and is back after 5 wins, but recently lost to Taylor Lapilus. Elijah Smith is coming off a lackluster decision over Aaron Toy on Dana White Contender Series. Always shoots for a good takedown, good cardio, but needs to have extremely good fight IQ for this fight. This fight is a 1-800 gambler type fight. Elijah Smith needs to focus, remain on target, not let this fight slip out of his hands. Elijah Smith, but he needs this fight to touch the mat if he's gonna win this fight at all. I don't want you to come out looking like Cody Steele. A dog or pass is a good play, but I'll take Elijah Smith low confidence. I hate over and over again. These guys from Dana White Contender Series aren't really that good, or I don't know if I'm just not, we'll see. We'll see what Elijah Smith has to offer. He's 22 years old versus 34. Vince Morales is a guy who's a decent striker. He has good volume, and he was cut, and the fact that he was able to come back and just recently lost to Taylor Lapilus is not a bad loss, especially by decision. I'm glad that he's back in the UFC. Vince Morales is a good dog. He's a very good dog. I'm going low confidence Elijah Smith. I'm going to go Elijah Smith. Low confidence. Cardio should be the main factor on why I'm going Elijah Smith. We'll see if there's a pick flip on Friday. Low confidence. Elijah Smith for the dub. By submission on points, I'm going to go by decision, 29-28. Let's go. 6 best bets lock of the week. Let's go. Julia Alva versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. We know Julia Alva's a plus 330, and she's nowhere near her prime. Versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who's a minus 480. Julia Alva loves to brawl, BJJ black belt, but is questionable. And I say questionable because sometimes, we always say she's a BJJ black belt, but Julia Alva, is she really like sharpening her BJJ every day? I don't know. She just lost to Miesha Tate in 2023, where she looked terrible, and she lost that fight by submission, I believe. And now she's matched up against another grappler. Cavalcanti is 3-0 since joining the UFC. She just won a split decision over Nora Carnol, and prior to that, she won another split decision over Josanne Nunes. I will say, though, watching those fights, they don't really look like split decisions, but if there's one judge that's giving a split decision, it's because he thinks this fight is closer than a lot of people expect it to be, or it's closer than a lot of people think it is. She's looking to make it 4-0 in the UFC. She manages range very well. Jacqueline Cavalcanti has great low kicks, great cardio, and very good shot selection. When she's on the back foot, she's hittable, but she works on the cage, then works for a takedown. She just beat Nora Carnol. Obviously, she grabbed the fence, but she still won that fight. Julia's age and slight height and reach disadvantage will cost her a lot. Cavalcanti, who's basically 10 years younger, should be able to win this fight inside the distance by submission, if not decision. High confidence on Cavalcanti by submission or on points. And I really want to go submission. I really want to go Cavalcanti to finish this fight inside the distance, but we don't know if she's going to be able to. There's another Julian Robertson where we go Julian Robertson under 2.5. Julian Robertson to find the submission, and then she can't find the submission, and she's throwing elbows to the butt. I'm going to go Cavalcanti, guys. I'm going to go Cavalcanti, and I'm going to go by submission on points. The reason why I go double chances is because we can't count on just Jacqueline Cavalcanti by submission. I would love to sprinkle. I think I'm just going to sprinkle Cavalcanti by submission. I'm going to go third round submission. I believe Miesha Tate was able to get a third round submission on Julia Alva. I got to make sure. Yeah, round 3, 1 minute and 15 seconds to round 3. Julia Avila, she didn't look anywhere good in that fight. I think she's just here to collect a check. Give me Jacqueline Cavalcanti by submission on points. I'll go by decision, 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28. Let's see how good Julia is. Let's go. Main card time. Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. Minus 225 for Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski, who's a plus 172. Very good BJJ for Vieira. Great takedowns. Always looks to wrestle, but mixes it up. His most recent win is over Armin Petrosian and landed 3 takedowns and submitted Petrosian in round 1. And in ADXC, he submitted Derek Brunson in an arm triangle choke in round 1. So he has very good BJJ, and this is what a BJJ black belt should look like. Matched up against Andre Petroski, very heavy hands, very good wrestler, has good clean shot selection, and good pack control. Andre Petroski just beat Dylan Budka, over 10 minutes of control. Petroski, in that fight, we always remember how he got a hip KO loss from Jacob Malkoun. About all the grapplers, if Rodolfo can't take down Petroski, this fight might stay on the feet longer than expected, until someone mixes it up and finally gets a takedown. Durability-wise, Rodolfo Vieira is more durable, but control-wise and maintaining back control and being the backpack king should favor Andre Petroski. Over 2.5 in this fight, yes, but Rodolfo Vieira by submission on points could happen. Andre Petroski lost to Michel Pereira, and we know Michel Pereira got dog-walked by Fluffy Hernandez, but Fluffy Hernandez probably obviously he beats Andre Petroski as well, but what I'm trying to say is Michel Pereira is a guy who, if he beats you in the first round, it's because of his flashy striking. It's not because he's actually better than you in the long distance. I will say I'm going to go over Rodolfo Vieira. Obviously, that submission over Armin Petrosian really surprised me. I did not expect him to get that submission, but he did have to work for it. I'm going to go Rodolfo Vieira. I'll take the minus 225. I'll take him by submission on points. And I think he should be able to win this fight, but a good live bet would be perfect here. Majority Tapology is going submission. I'll go second or third round submission for Rodolfo Vieira. And if I have to choose a specific type of submission, I'm going to go arm triangle. I think he loves the arm triangle. He got Cody Bumdage in the arm triangle. And he got Armin Petrosian in the arm triangle. And also, if you look at it, he got Derek Brunson in the arm triangle as well in grappling. Arm triangle. He loves the arm triangle. He's a very good arm triangle submission genie. Give me Rodolfo Vieira by arm triangle in rounds 2 or 3. Let's go. Up the card. Edmen Shahbazyan. It really is back to 2022, 2021, bro. Edmen Shahbazyan, let's go. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. This card looks like if it was made 4 years ago. Edmen Shahbazyan, minus 320. Dylan Budka, plus 235. Edmen is a finisher or be-finished fighter. Terrible takedown defense. Not very durable. Slow footwork. Always 50-50 fighter no matter who he's fighting. With wrestling, averages over 2 takedowns per fight. He just lost to Gerald Mearshart, where he absolutely let the cat out of the bag in that fight. He got submitted by arm triangle. Arm triangle, arm triangle, arm triangle, arm triangle. You want to beat Edmen Shahbazyan? Practice a good arm triangle. Dylan Budka is a good grappler, Division 1 wrestler. We know he's going to actually shoot for a takedown and work. Dylan bites on his mouthpiece, bites down, and throws bombs away. But he did lose to Andre Petroski, but he missed weight in that fight. And he kept on getting taken down consistently over and over and over again. Edmen is always a guy who's a massive favorite and sells. This guy is why the bookies love him. Edmen is a guy who faces a little adversity and folds like Said Nurmagomedov. Edmen Shahbazyan for the win, but Dylan is an excellent dog. Edmen by KO on points. I'm going to take Edmen Shahbazyan, guys. Every time I take Edmen Shahbazyan, this guy's a 50-50 shot. I always got to flip a quarter on whether he's going to win or lose. And just look at his record. His record looks like salt and pepper. Or ketchup and green. It's red, green. And I know Dylan Budka is in the same boat, but at least he got a 2-fight win streak at one point. I don't know if I'll ever see Edmen Shahbazyan with a 2-fight win streak. This guy is selling on top of selling on top of selling. I'm going to go Edmen Shahbazyan. I'm going to go by KO on points. Inside the distance for Edmen Shahbazyan, I have to take double chance because for him to fit his price tag at a minus 320, I got to take double chance. We always see the bookies where it's always Edmen by KO or submission, minus 200. Edmen by KO on points, minus 260. And he ends up always losing a round. So I think the plus 3.5 for Dylan Budka is perfect for this fight. Maybe that this fight doesn't go the distance. And double chance. Edmen by KO on points. Let's go. I'll go second or third round KO. I'll go second round KO. No. I'm going to go by decision. I'm going to go Edmen Shahbazyan by decision. Give me Edmen Shahbazyan by decision, 29-28, after losing the first round like always. Jose Delgado versus Conor Matthews. Another fight that a lot of people are anticipating more than ever. We know Jose Delgado, the odds aren't up, but I believe he's going to be a minus 275, if not higher, and Conor Matthews is going to be a plus 250. Conor Matthews versus Jose Delgado, who's making his UFC debut. He just won a short notice Dana White Contender Series in August, and now he's looking to make his UFC debut this Saturday. Very good head movement and style from Jose Delgado. He shoots a takedown here and there, very well rounded with a 100% finish rate from Delgado. There's a lot of hype coming from this guy, and he's a massive favorite. Conor Matthews has 5 wins by sub, and out of 7 of his wins, Conor Matthews tangles up his opponents out of nowhere. Conor Matthews has 5 wins by sub out of his 7 wins, my bad. And he always tangles his opponent out of nowhere. Conor lost his UFC debut to Dennis Bazooka, who we know Dennis Bazooka is not that good. I'll take Jose Delgado by sub or KO, inside the distance, 100% finish rate. Let's hope he's not overzealous and pulls off a very low IQ move. Jose to take this fight over and finish this fight inside the distance is something that a lot of people are going to be taking. But if you're going to take Jose Delgado, you can take him inside the distance, and then I might just take him by KO or on points, double chance. Because we know, look at Topuria, Alexander Topuria. He ended up winning by unanimous decision. So if you had double chance by KO or on points, it hits. If you only had Topuria by KO at a plus 140, it doesn't hit. So I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where a lot of people are going to be favoring Jose Delgado to finish his fight inside the distance just like Edmen Shahbazyan, just like RoboCop, just like all these guys. And then something happens where they face a little bit of adversity and they're not able to finish this fight. So I always like double chance. I always like either playing the money line or playing by KO on points, by submission on points, whatever it is, on points. Double chance on points. Because there's only 3 ways this fight can end. By submission, KO, or decision. Everybody knows that. So if we take double chance, we minimize the odds of losing value. So I will say Jose Delgado by KO on points for me. The double chance never fails me. I'm going to take him by KO on points. But I recommend maybe I might do a light sprinkle on Jose Delgado by KO straight. Because this guy has finished every single one of his opponents. And if we look at it, knee to the head round 1, left hook round 1, punches and elbows round 3, Darce choke round 1, rear naked choke round 3, KO round 1, 23 seconds into round 1, submission round 1, rear naked choke round 1. And obviously when you look at these guys, maybe they don't have the best record, but it's about momentum. Who's on momentum? Who's looking to come into the UFC with everything like a fireball, like a hot shot? Jose Delgado. Give me Jose Delgado by KO. I'll go by 2nd or 3rd round TKO. Let's go. I can't wait for that fight. Ismael Bonfim, another banger fight. Ismael Bonfim versus Nazim Sadykhov. We know Nazim Sadykhov is not making his UFC debut. He's been in the UFC for a minute. And I guess, obviously, since Dana White Contender Series from 2 years and 5 months ago, he beat Evan Elder, and then he also beat Terrence McKinney. And he just went to draw with Borashev. And we know that that is a bad look. Obviously, it's a better look for Nazim than it is for Borashev. But we know Borashev is falling apart as of recent. Ismael Bonfim minus 192. Nazim Sadykhov plus 148. The Bonfim bros have a tough challenge ahead of them. This Saturday, Bonfim is wild. No care for basic 1-2. Throws crazy amounts of volume, crazy power. And he has excellent boxing mixed in with excellent BJJ. He just won by decision over Vince Pachel, which was a very good performance in my opinion. Matched up against Nazim, a patient striker, an excellent counter striker who is flashy. His only loss is by rear naked choke in round 1. Very good matchup ahead of us. But I think this fight goes the distance, but it will be a very high pace, high volume, high output fight. Ismael needs his IQ to be sharp, mix it up, strike, then shoot, set up his takedowns, selection, and eventually get a good win streak going. Nazim has wins over Terrence McKinney and Evan Elder in the UFC. Ismael by sub or points for me. With both brothers, I took the same thing. With both, obviously, sorry if my camera's lagging a little bit. I think I'm moving a little too fast. With both brothers, I took by submission on points. Obviously, the props aren't out yet. But with Bonfim, we know a KO is more likely as well than his other brother. Obviously, they are both eligible of getting a KO. But this fight right here is going to be an absolute banger. And we know if Bonfim faces a little bit of adversity, he's going to end up losing. He lost a submission by Benoit Saint-Denis. But that was a good fight. That was a good fight prior to his loss. He was working. He got overwhelmed. And Benoit Saint-Denis was just a sheer machine of grit and force. Nazim Sadykhov has a good chance to win this fight. A very good chance to win this fight. Not only does he have a good chance, but we can say momentum is still on his side. Obviously, that draw. But the draw is more better than... It looks better on his record than it looks on Borashev's record. That being said, I think this fight goes the distance. I'll take the over 2.5. I'll take this fight goes the distance. And then I'll take Gabriel Bonfim by submission on points. And then give me Gabriel Bonfim by KO on points as well. It's going to be one of those fights where Gabriel Bonfim at a minus 192 is good money line to parlay. He's good parlayable. But I think this fight going the distance is... It might be a little bit of a better parlay for me. We'll see what you guys think. I'm going to go Bonfim by... I'll go by decision. 29-28, 29-28, and 29-28. I think he loses the first round. I think he's going to lose the first round. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go. Kattar versus Youssef Zalal. Plus 300 for Kattar versus Youssef Zalal, who's a minus 430. Kattar is the biggest fall from grace I've ever witnessed, other than El Cucuy. His biggest weakness is his takedown defense. This is a banger co-main event, and I think it should stay that way. Calvin Kattar is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He has great boxing, 72% takedown defense, but he cannot defend a takedown if his life depended on it. Excellent sharpshooter, excellent boxer, and prior to his loss to Aljo, he looked amazing and competitive in almost every single fight. He gave up 8 takedowns to Aljamain Sterling, but Aljo had a very competitive scrap against Movsar, so I won't cut him too much slack. Youssef Zalal was cut from the UFC in 2023. We all know this. After tough competition over and over again, got a couple of wins on the regional scene and is now back for vengeance, destroying everyone in his path. Very good output, even better defense. He's only hit with 1.71 significant strikes per minute. Youssef Zalal 2.0 is coming off of 3 submission wins in a row and an armbar over Jack Shore. It's insane how much better Zalal has gotten ever since he fought Topuria on his UFC debut. Maybe Kobe Thick and Knees goes through a run like this. Calvin Kattar is closer to the end of his career than the beginning. But that doesn't mean he doesn't still have it. Zalal has a massive amounts of momentum. I can see Calvin taking a round, maybe the first or second, at least with a good jab and some decent footwork. Zalal taking over rounds 2 and 3, maybe even submission. Zalal by submission or on points. You know, this Apex card is the card of submission on points. Submission on points. Submission on points. Submission on points. I really think there's going to be a lot of submissions on this card. I wish Kattar had a little bit more momentum heading into this fight. When you look at that split decision to Josh Emmett, he won that fight in my opinion. Josh Emmett gets to get up higher in the rankings. Then he has to fight Arnold Allen. I don't know if that was in the Apex, but that was a main event. And I think in the first round, his ankle or something blew out. Knee injury in round 2. 8 seconds into round 2, his knee blew out. So that's something that doesn't normally happen. Ends the fight. Then he gets controlled by Aljamain Sterling. A pretty rough skid, but if you look at those losses closely, he's been competitive against Josh Emmett, fluke injury against Arnold Allen, and Aljamain Sterling is a very good wrestler who went to split decision with Movsar Evloev. This is going to be a really close fight. Plus 300 for Calvin Kattar. I'm going to go plus 3.5. Give me the plus 3.5 for Calvin Kattar. I think he should be able to take a round, although he has to take off the first round. If he loses the first round, he's probably going to lose the second and third. Plus 3.5, low confidence for Calvin Kattar for me. And I'll take Youssef Zalal by submission on points. I'm going to take Youssef Zalal by submission on points. 34% of Tapology has him to win by submission. I'll go by second or third round submission, if not by 29-28 unanimous decision. Let's go Youssef Zalal. Let's go, my guy. Let's go, my guy. Let's go, Youssef Zalal. Let's go, lock. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding. There's no such thing as a lock in the UFC. Let's go. Main event time, boys and girls. Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. Plus 162 for Jared Cannonier. Gregory Rodrigues minus 210. Main event time. Let's go. Middleweight is a shark tank. A killer's division that has been getting better every day. Jared Cannonier fights very well from both stances, solid takedown defense, and has decent durability. Cannonier just recently lost to Caio Borralho, where his chin might have got cracked hard. I don't know how the ref didn't stop that fight. Jared Cannonier is very good when he's fighting in the Apex. His most notable win, in my opinion, is Marvin Vettori. Jared also has the fight record for the most significant strikes in one fight record at middleweight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw something where Jared Cannonier had the most significant strikes record at middleweight in one fight. Not all time. We know Max Holloway has that. Matched up against RoboCop, a BJJ black belt, doesn't really shoot a takedown. Always hangs out in the pocket more often than I like him to. He's dangerous, and he loves to slug it out. He just destroyed Christian Leroy Duncan. We put on a masterclass with 4 takedowns and 8 minutes of control. Both of these guys look 40, but the older guy is Jared. He has been in wars, has a lot of wear and tear, but he always looks rejuvenated every time he fights. Every time I see Jared Cannonier in the cage, Even his most recent fight against Kyle Barallo, he was very competitive in that fight. Not only was he very competitive in that fight, he does not quit. One thing about Jared Cannonier, I will never, ever see Jared Cannonier quit a fight. Even against Nasruddin Imavov, where he got TKO'd standing up in the 4th round. He gets wobbled, and this guy's recovery is pretty good. Look at him against Kyle Barallo. He gets dropped. He's falling. He's on the cage. He wakes back up, and that fight still goes the distance. I've never seen a chin like Jared Cannonier. This guy is the type of guy to put your chin to the test more than you are likely to put his chin to the test. Jared is always a guy who I love to watch fight. The way Jared Cannonier elbowed Derek Brunson into retirement was absolutely insane. I could see this being a stand-up war if RoboCop's not able to get the takedown, or if he just loves striking and he's just looking for a highlight reel. Gregory's going to be the pick, but I hope he wrestles more often than we imagine. Usually, he needs to manage his cardio, because if you wrestle, the cardio gas tank diminishes a little bit faster. Gregory's going to be the pick. I was going to say Gregory by KO on points, but I do think a submission is very likely. I know a lot of people are like, nah, RoboCop's not going to get a submission. He's a KO artist, a KO or BKO'd guy. He's been KO'd by Chidi and he KO'd Chidi and Chikwani, got KO'd by Bruno Ferreira. We know Bruno Ferreira has hands made out of stone. Dennis Talulin KO. Brad Tavares KO. Christian Leroy Duncan, beautiful decision win, who actually had Christian Leroy Duncan. And I think I had Christian Leroy Duncan as my lock of the week, and that did not hit. So, I'm very well aware of Gregory Rodrigues. I like his grappling against Joe Solecki. It was a draw, but it was very competitive. We know Joe Solecki is a very good grappler as well. Armen Petrosian lost by split decision. I think this fight might go the distance, but majority topology is not favoring it to go the distance. If there's an over 1.5, over 2.5, I might throw it just to play with fire. But I will say, guys, I'm going to go Gregory Rodrigues. I was going to say submission on points just because I wanted a little Hail Mary. I'm going to go Gregory Rodrigues by KO on points. I'm going to go by KO on points, and I'm going to go specifically by KO. I'll go 3rd round, 4th round TKO. I hope this is a good fight. And I don't want to see nothing where Jared Cannonier's chin is gone. If his chin is gone and it doesn't hold up, then it doesn't hold up. But I want to see a war. I want to see a 5-round main event war. A 25-minute war. I haven't seen a war in 2025 yet. I'm watching Moicano get submitted in the 1st round. I'm watching Israel Adesanya get knocked out in the 2nd round. I'm watching Dricus du Plessis win a 50-45, not competitive at all. And then I'm going to watch Gregory Rodrigues knock out Jared Cannonier in the 3rd round. I want a 5-round, 25-minute straight bloody war. Give me all the violence. Whether it means Cannonier wins or it means RoboCop wins. I want a bloody main event, and I want to enjoy this Apex card so that way people aren't talking so much trash about the Apex cards. Let's go RoboCop. I'm going to go by 3rd or 4th round TKO, if not by 48-47, 49-46, 48-47 unanimous decision. I actually got that right on the last minute prediction video on Dricus du Plessis. I went 49-46. I think I should have went 50-45. But let's go Gregory Rodrigues. We've been doing so good, guys. We only got 3 wrong last week. So let's look to make it only 2 wrong. Let's go 13-fight card. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed this fight. Give me Gregory Rodrigues by 3rd or 4th round TKO. If not, by 48-47 unanimous decision. If not, 49-46. Let's go Gregory Rodrigues. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any lock of the weeks, let me know. And what's your most anticipated fight? Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Peace. Tune in for Wednesday. Let's get it. Peace. Hey.